Report on a journey to the western states of North America and a stay of several years along the Missouri during the years 1824 to 1827 by Gottfried Duden. 18th letter, Montgomery, 16 May 1826, Part 2, Number 26. While I am writing this, sitting in front of my house, I notice again the same kind of beetle that had earlier aroused my interest because of its industry. For the time being, I shall call it the roll beetle, since I know of no other name for it. I do not doubt that it has long been mentioned in printed matter. However, since you also have not concerned yourself much with natural history, perhaps the little creature is just as new to you as it was to me when I arrived in America. It belongs to the dung beetles, and it is very similar to the beetles that are found in Germany in pastures and in cow dung. Only I had never noticed a similar industry among the German beetles. The Berrien beetle, to be sure, resembles it in industry but not in method. Several times before I had seen a black beetle occupied with a round object the size of a walnut without paying particular attention to it. Once, on a hot summer day, I was sitting in the shade of a plane tree when two such balls came rolling directly toward me. I looked more closely and found along with each ball two of the beetles I mentioned. Now I could see very well that the rolling object was formed of a soft mass and perfectly round. One beetle pushed with its hind legs, its forelegs supported on the ground, while the other beetle suspended its entire body from the opposite side. By this method the ball was made to roll. The pushing beetle never lost its position, whereas the one hanging on in front fell off at every revolution and rolled part way under the ball so that it had to attach itself to the ball again innumerable times. I wanted to see the end of their labor and waited until the ball was scraped into the soil next to the trunk of a dead tree. Then I investigated the mass and found that it was needed horse manure. Meanwhile, I had not lost sight of the other working pair. Without touching the beetles, I changed the form of their ball by a light pressure. They soon noticed this and stopped to make repairs. However, only one beetle occupied himself with it, and the other remained completely idle. When the curve was restored by pressing and trimming, the work of rolling was resumed. I thought I noticed a slight difference in the beetles and attributed it to the sex. The following observation confirmed this opinion. Not far from the balls mentioned above, I saw a third ball, which a single beetle was trying to move. Soon I saw a second one approach, which without doubt was on the lookout for such an object. The first beetle seemed to keep on working, and the one that joined it began to push in the manner described above. I succeeded in moving the two balls closer together without interrupting the workers. Then I removed the ball from one of the pairs, and since both beetles thereupon proceeded to search for their lost ball, I tried to direct the pushing beetle toward the other pair, specifically at first to the beetle working on the front side. This beetle welcomed the stranger, and the latter was about to begin its usual activity without further ado when it came in touch with the beetle on the rear side. Instantly, a furious fight broke out, which the beetle on the fore side seemed to watch quietly. The repeated clashes were so violent and made such a noise that I scarcely trusted my ears. Finally, one of the fighters withdrew, but whether it was the one I had induced to come there I could not determine with certainty. Afterward, I brought the second beetle, which had been searching for the ball, to the beetles rolling the ball. It was welcomed by the pushing one, but violently attacked by the beetle on the front side. After some attempt at defense, it was put to flight. It was interesting to see how strenuously these little creatures exerted themselves to overcome the hindrances in their path. Often the ball would roll far back down the slope. They immediately followed and did not give up the endeavor. When special obstacles appeared, the beetle in front regularly assumed the work of investigation. It circled the ball completely, obviously for the purpose of ascertaining the nature of the obstacle. I was told that these balls serve as nests for the development of the brood.